Hey, thank you for coming. I press buttons, except for the important one, which mutes me, of course, because, me being muted at the beginning of a stream is just almost tradition for me right now, isn't it? So, anyway, I just have to apologize to literally every single person who follows me on YouTube. Thank you for being patient with me. I recognize I have not been the YouTuber that I used to be, and there are quite a lot of reasons for it. First of all, let me fix up my my face. That's where are we? Oh, that's better. You want to do that? Hey, note to self: always. There we go. That's better. That's better. Because if I was to watch this back, it would drive me nuts. And I'm assuming that for some of you, it would drive you nuts seeing this light red line above me. Okay, so buttons have been pressed. I have actually successfully, by some miracle, started a stream. I don't know how that happened either. It's a miracle. First of all, thank you everyone who's in. I would like to say a very big thank you to MJB for being early for once. Watchmaker, Notjar Witness, Junk Shop Library, Alias Fake Name. I'm sorry if I spell your name, mispronounce your name. Lassus Vulgaris, Almost a Doctor. Hello, Zolfna. Thank you for joining, and Ocean Keltoy. So what I want to talk about is something that's been going on in my life recently, which is why I have not been producing as many scripted videos. It's nothing spectacular. I have noticed, and this is quite common for a lot of people who've been doing YouTube for more than a while, I'm noticing I'm getting a little bit of YouTube burnout. As you can probably recognize, that YouTube is a secondary part of my life compared to, my actual life. So I've got to work, I've got to do things, outside of my life, because, life is important. Oh, thank you, MJB. 18 people watching and only 8 likes. So come on, people. Apparently also if you like a person's stream as it's streaming, apparently it helps a lot more with the YouTube algorithm than just pressing a like afterwards. So yeah, if everyone could please press like and subscribe if this is the first time you've seen some of my stuff, I would really appreciate it. And also hello B, no justice B, hey. Okay, so what's going on right now with my life is that I have picked up a lot of work recently. Before, when COVID was being COVID and everyone was shut down, I was able to do a lot more research onto my stuff, and because basically my hours for YouTube swapped over to my comparing to my hours at work. Like I lost at least half of my hours at work, which was a bit annoying, but, that was okay. I was able to comfortably get through it. But now because COVID's come back, everything's back up and running as per usual in Australia because we actually follow scientific, advice. I've had to pick up a lot more work and then some. So, I'm doing a lot more work at the moment, which is why a lot of my hours on YouTube has dropped back. I also have gained a significant amount of weight. There's 2 types of COVID spread. There's the spread where it likes to, spread amongst other people and get people sick. And then there's the COVID spread where you physically get larger. And I was hit very hard by that. I've gained about 5 to 10 kilograms, which is roughly about 10 to 20 pounds. I only know that because 1 pound is 450 grams, or about half a kilogram. So that, of course, has made me go, ew. every time I look at myself. So I have started doing a lot of exercise, and I've also started eating a lot less and changing my diet and stuff like that. And of course, because I'm doing that, I'm getting a lot less energy and a lot less motivation. So I'm getting a combination of YouTube burnout, extra work, and just trying to lose weight, and the exhaustion that normally comes with that, because you're eating less food, you've got less energy, and you're also expending more energy to build muscle and do your exercise. And that's, I've noticed, really impacted my YouTube. Oh, thank you, Zolfna. I'll pay for 10 to 20 pounds. Please share. Please take it off me. Also, another thing that's happened is that I started gaining weight before COVID hit. So I was on some medication that made me gain some weight. I'm off that medication now, thankfully, but I haven't been able to shed that. I have also, just life again gets in the way. So I used to be roughly just under 70 kilos. So I used to be under roughly 140 pounds, give or take. And now I am 89-ish kilos, which is, let's double, 180 pounds. Yeah, so I want to get down to 70 kilos, which is roughly 20 kilos. That's a lot of weight that I want to lose. So I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, you look wonderful, you look beautiful and wonderful, Meredith, you don't have to lose weight. The thing is, I don't store it around my face, luckily, but I store it around my belly, which is actually the really dangerous stuff. That's the visceral fat. That's the stuff that makes you more likely to get your heart attacks and your diabetes and things like that, which is also another reason why I want to lose weight, because I am actually overweight, but luckily I'm not yet obese. So you might notice over the next couple of weeks to months, while my body is getting used to losing weight, might be a little bit less active on edited videos. I will try and at least stream once a week, or at least get something out once a week, which I will do my best for you, because I do care all about you guys, and I just want to make sure that you guys are getting your subscription's worth. Okay, so that's basically number one. So if anybody wants to join me on my weight loss program, or just to shout me along or support me, I am doing a weight swap with Objectively Dan, who I had on the other week, 2 weeks ago, to talk about a conspiracy which will, if I said it online, it will demonetize this like that. So you can see a couple of weeks ago, he wants to gain muscle and I want to lose weight. So we're going to do a weight swap, and we have said that if we were, for every kilogram that I lose, $5 will be donated to the International Association of Atheists, which is an atheist organization who helps atheists worldwide, not the AAI, which is the one that John Richard runs or is associated with, that I would not touch with a 10-foot pole, to be honest with you. And for every kilogram that Objectively Dan gains in muscle weight, we will donate $10 to a malaria foundation to sort of help stop malaria. So they're both very, very good and worthy causes. And if you wanted to join in on that, then I'll leave links in the description below. I haven't done any links so far because I didn't know I was gonna shout that out, to be honest with you. So so that's basically what's going on. I do apologize. I do recognize that a lot of people do enjoy my edited scripts, and I will do as much as I can. But it's just, it's more the motivation than the time, to be honest with you. The motivation to go and sit down in front of a computer, do my research, do the editing, getting it. It's just, I'm just very burnt out from that at the moment. So that's why. So MJ, I just want to quick say hello to PJ Smith. Hello for coming here. I love you lots. And MJB says, gaining muscle is an excellent way to lose weight. I want to swap my visceral fat for core muscle density. I would love to do that, and I am working on that. So I'm also trying to gain muscle as well, obviously, because that's, being skinny but being weaker is just as bad, in my opinion, as being fat and being strong, kind of thing. Well, not that just as bad, but that was badly worded, but in the sense of I'd rather be middleweight and strong than being skinny with no muscle, to be honest with you. So, Oh, hello, Purple. Thank you, almost Doctor. You do you. For $2 super chat. Thank you very much. I think that says Rory, Rai. It can take a long time to gain muscle weight. I've been weightlifting for over a year, and I think I've gained 3 kilograms. Hard to tell because I also lost fat at the same time. Yes, I do recognize that I might not end up going down to my goal weight of 70 kilos because I'm also doing some muscle building. So, weight is not exactly the only thing that you should go by. You should also go by body fat percentage. I also wanted to just do a bit of a weird kind of interesting aside when it comes to me. I am actually quite a chunky person in the sense of I'm just dense, like intellectually dense as well as physically. And it's just really interesting that when I was working for a gym a couple of years ago, I actually got down to my lowest weight, which was 68.8 kilos. And according to my BMI, I was actually mid-range, like sort of where I want to be. But when I went and did the muscle fat percentage thing that they made us do every week, I was actually underweight. I was under the recommended body fat percentage. So that's just something really interesting, and also something that you need to be aware of with BMI. Sometimes it doesn't apply to you. For me, I tend to take off 5 kilos. To try and counteract the fact that I am just a solidly built person. I think I've always been strong and chunky for my weight. So anyway, this is weird side. Roro says, if you are intellectually dense, I have no hope. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about is something that I was thinking about to make sure that to force me to get in front of the computer so I can sit down and do some script writing, is that I will try and do maybe a 5 to 10 minute stream about something that I saw on Twitter or something that's been making me think, and have that and just use that as a reason for me to sit down, get my ass into gear, and actually do some form of script writing or research or something like that. And I wanted to actually talk about my first thing that I wanted to talk about today. So congratulations, everyone. You get to experience the premiere of me rambling, which is maybe not a premiere. Anyway, so there's something that I wanted to talk about. I've been thinking about it for ages. I really enjoy gaming. One of my favorite games is, I'm not going to name it because it's going to ruin. It's going to be a plot spoiler. So I won't say any names if I can remember not to. And I won't say the name of this particular game. But if you have played this game, you will know what you're talking about and what I'm talking about. And if you have played this game, please don't put it in the comments or on the side chat, because I don't want people's experience of this game to be ruined, because it's good. It's a good game. But this particular game is known to be one of those ones where they introduce the grey. It's sort of, the decisions you make are never right or wrong, or very rarely right or wrong. And this particular game, right towards the end of this game in the DLC, there is a character who turns out to be a vampire. And this character is a very, very wealthy woman. And this is basically set in feudal France. And she's a vampire and she's very wealthy. And she runs an orphanage. And she basically treats these kids like absolute gods. They are well fed, they are well loved, they're protected, they have an education, and she's just basically the most amazing person to these kids. With the exception is that she goes in every once in a while and drinks the blood of these children. And everyone, and myself included, don't think I'm trying to defend her because it is not okay. But everyone thinks that she's evil. But that actually got me thinking, what would you prefer? And please mention in the comments and in the side chat what you would prefer. Would you prefer to live on the streets, starving to death, having no education, having no prospects in life? Or would you prefer to be raised in an orphanage where you're safe, you're healthy, you're well loved, but occasionally drunk blood from? And I was thinking about it, and I'm just going, okay, yeah, what she's done is wrong, it's evil, let's be honest. But I was kind of going, is she as evil as what everyone is saying that she is? And there is very good arguments to say, yes, she is evil. But at the same time, like, when she found out during the time where we learn about this woman, when we find out for the first time that she's running an orphanage, she finds out that another vampire attacks the orphanage during a siege of vampires on this particular city where it's situated in. Give me a thumbs up in the side chat or in the description below if you know which game I'm talking about. So, so she finds out the orphanage is being attacked, and the chances are all of the kids have been killed. And she just panics. She goes, holy shit! And she runs over. She's like, I've got to go and protect these kids. And she looks genuinely concerned. She looks really upset that her kids could be damaged, could be hurt. But by then we don't know that she's drinking their blood. So she runs off. And anyway, there's one kid that survived, and this kid runs up to her and hugs her, and she looks like she's genuinely relieved and hugs them back. And she looks so relieved at least one of the kids is okay. And then, the main character goes off and kills the animal that's killed all the other kids, and when he comes back, she's drinking that kid's blood. But when she seemed really, really concerned. The question is she concerned for the welfare of the child or the welfare of her blood supply? Aaron Yandel goes, to be honest, that sounds like a pretty small caveat compared to living on the street. I kind of agree with you on that one. I'm leaning in the what would you prefer? Would you prefer luxuries with something that was going to kill with something that doesn't actually hurt you too much? Or would you prefer to be starving on the street with a very good chance of being hurt continuously? So Notja makes a really good point. I present the question, does she need the blood drinking to survive in this game? It seems no. And no, they don't. Vampires in this game do not actually need human blood to survive. This is a thing that she drinks because she wants to, because she can. Which makes an extra level of immorality. And it shouldn't be seen as either one or the other, street or bloodsucker. Because, as you're right, she could just have been, because she's wealthy and rich, she could have just opened the orphanage and just left them be. But no, she uses them as her own personal blood supply. And So I was also thinking that this makes another really interesting argument, is that a lot of people will go, oh, it's evil that she drank all the blood of the kids and stuff. Yeah, MJB is luxury is something that doesn't hurt too much, aka having a minimum wage and to afford rent. And purple rhymes with orange. Does her feeding involve pain to the children? Overall, it sounds like they have a pretty good life. I would assume probably a little bit of pain when she drinks the blood, but overall, I don't think so. The kid that she interacts with genuinely loved her. As soon as he saw her, he ran up to her and hugged her. Hey, Robert X, I didn't say hello to you, and I'm gonna go for it. Hey, mate, how you going? So you can kind of, I can see where there's a lot of grey area, and this is a really interesting discussion I think we should have, because in regards to something like, and this is something that Notcha brings up, which is, does she have to drink the blood? And the answer is no. And we're going, oh, it's all evil and bad and stuff. Is that it's an argument? It's almost a vegan argument, because if, let's say, for example, chickens and cows, they produce things that we consume for food, even though technically speaking we don't actually need to eat it. Like, if we did have to eat it, such as out in the middle of nowhere and you had no other choice, then okay, you have to eat it for sustenance, and it's not that unethical. But where I live, I don't actually have to eat it. So, but if these chickens or these cows live like royalty, but we still drink their milk and eat their eggs, we don't consider that to be unethical. However, this vampire, who, let's be honest, she's a different species. She's a different species to humans. So in a way, it is a slight comparable situation where you can say that, okay, she's a different species. So she might even just look at humans as cows that can talk. So when she, not just, I'm going to delete that one. I don't want everyone knowing what, and I'm going to remove that one. Okay. I don't want people knowing what it is. Yeah. So if the blood for her was for survival, like she had to drink blood, it would have been completely different. But no, for her, blood is a thing, a treat. Anyway, so, not just asking a good question, when is Stockholm Syndrome good? When is someone being kidnapped? But these kids aren't being kidnapped. They're not being forced to stay where they are. They're just being given, as I said, a roof over their heads, a place to sleep, education, good food, and safety. In the game, isn't it incredibly difficult for them to resist drinking blood? Also, I don't think she was a higher vampire. I think she is a higher vampire. But it is difficult for them to resist drinking blood because one of the other vampires was addicted to blood. So it's one of those conquering the monster within kind of thing. I don't think the children can opt out. I think it's sort of, you live here, like you don't have to live here, but you can stay here. But I have to drink blood from you. But she had a good maybe 12 kids there or something. I didn't end up counting it while I was watching the playthrough. But she had a good maybe about 12 kids there, and I would assume that she wouldn't drink from the same kid over and over and over again. She'd sort of spread it out. So a kid might only need to be drunk from maybe once every week or so. I don't know. It doesn't say in the game. Yeah, it's a Heroclitus. Sorry, I mispronounced your name. Interesting how we might view a relationship as ethical until the positions are reversed. And I do actually think it's it's a really interesting argument that people can have, is that this particular person is a this particular person might is doing the same thing that we do to chickens and cows. Chickens and cows, they produce the milk and the eggs because that's what their biology tells them to do, and we still consume them, even though we treat them like some farmers, not all of them, but farmers might actually treat these animals with absolute, like, as if the best life you could ever hope for. Is it still, if we go by I'm horrified you drink the blood of these kids, is it still unethical? Aaron Yandel goes, this is feudal France, so if people found out and she gets caught and executed, what happens to the kids after that? That's another good question. So, I don't know. Notcha goes, hitting a kid only once in a while is not okay. I, as I said, I don't think what she's doing is ethical. I don't think it's okay, to be honest with you. But that's what this whole conversation is about. Like, is it better to, Is it better to live safely with the occasional trauma, or is it, or being out on the street with no food and probably traumatic as well? So it's sort of the lesser of two evils, really, isn't it? So hang on. So my position on that, yes, she's evil, she's wrong, she's doing the wrong thing. I said she's taken these children under her wing, and there's even a letter from her to the person who runs the orphanage of, you absolutely have to make sure they eat their sweets. I pay you and I give you this food for a reason. You need to. And it was really, really harsh, saying, obviously, I want them to be sweetened up. However, when she arrived, I also look at that going, is she just being a real bitch to this person to make out that she's as awful and evil and as cruel as she possibly can be, but down inside she actually cares about the children? Or does she care about her feeding stock? So, Robert X says, how old are these kids? That could make a difference if they can decide. No, they can't decide. They're probably about 8 to 10 years old, roughly. I think the game only can give you like a 10-year-old kid, like prepubescent, so, and Rai goes, you have to take into account of the overall well-being of the kids. So, again, I think if it was me, if I was in that position, I would probably prefer to live in the orphanage, because I would not be sleeping on the streets, likely to get sick, die, starve to death. That'd be, I would probably weigh up those two and go, okay, I would probably want to live, because, there's not a lot of detail given, but it's still kind of, as I said, kind of horrendous. Not Joe Witness goes, what if they were held by her? They didn't have a true family and find their own strong future, own place to live and family to love. No, they weren't. They weren't held by her. They're not captives. They were orphans, street orphans. So they had no family anyway. And probably because it's feudal France and the poor be damned, they wouldn't have had any chance to go and live elsewhere, the chances of them being able to go further on in society is quite not that good a chance. Purple Rhymes with Orange says, not really seeing how the kids are being harmed in any real way. It sounds all around like the best life they could have for where they were born. So I don't know. And I suppose we could also use this analogy. Basically, is it up to the wealthy to stop stop poor people from being poor? And I, as a socialist, would probably go yes. I do prefer social programs. I am a person who likes to know that the poor are being looked after. And in the case of this particular character, the vampire character, investing a significant amount of her resources into getting her own special supply of blood, we could also use that as sort of a argument for supporting minimum wage, such as the Walmart owners are billionaires or something? Entirely sure. They should, because they are vampires. So can everyone see, like, every time I think about this, I get another layer and another layer, another layer. I think it just, when I was sitting down and listening to this this situation, I was just like, oh, this is so well written. Robert X, what if these same kids were asked to spend blood, so not for this vampire to save others? An excellent question. If we went up to a kid and go, you have a very rare blood type, and this person is dying, we're taking your blood, or we want you to donate your blood. The difference is bodily autonomy. The kid can say no, but in regards to the vampire lady, the kid can't say can't say no. So their bodily autonomy is so again, Higgs has come into this thing where I don't know. I don't really know. But as I said, my personal opinion on this whole situation is that she's evil. She shouldn't be doing. She should, if she wanted to start her own orphanage, just do it out of the kindness of your heart. Don't use it for your own personal beliefs, gain. The Dal Caterini, the Trotskyism intensifier. I'm not entirely sure what that word means. Can you put a definition, please? I don't understand. So I just if you have us think about it and give me a mention, comment in the description below what you think of it. Because that's my personal opinion. She's evil, but I don't think it's as cut and dry evil as it seems to be that most people make it out to be, because, as I said, these kids probably would be dead. They'd be starving to death. They'd have no education. They'd have none of that. They would just be on the streets, likely to die. Meanwhile, they're not. They've got food in their bellies. They're safe. They've got shelter, medical care, and all they have to do is occasionally allow someone to suck their blood, which is a complete opposite to people who work at Walmart, where they're not safe because they could lose their job at any time. They don't have food in their bellies because they don't get paid enough, and they have to agree to have someone suck their blood, i.e. their time. How would Purple rhymes with orange. How would she respond if one of the kids decided they wanted to leave? I don't know. I probably would assume, because it's feudal France and there is a war going on somewhere else in the continent, she could probably just easily find another kid. So, yeah. Similar situation. Fagin and the boys and Oliver Twist. The difference between this person and Oliver Twist is that Fagin actually hated the kids. He was cruel and miserly, while meanwhile this woman, she actually wanted her kids to be well fed, because the better fed they are, the better they tasted to her. Dew goes, Trotskyism is the political ideology and branch of Marxism developed by Russian revolutionary Leon Trotsky. Trotsky self-identified as an orthodox Marxist and Bolshevik-Leninist. I was being facetious. Okay, fair enough. MJB continues going, he gives them shelter and food and relative safety in return for them pickpocketing from... Oh, that guy. And Fagin. Oh, yeah, that's true. Sorry, not... I was thinking the guy right at the beginning. Yeah, Fagin and the Boys and Olive twist. Yeah, again, I also had that same sort of thought process when I heard about Fagin. The guy who gave them safety in return for pickpocketing. I think that one's a little bit more... I don't know. That one has another level of corruption and badness towards it. Purple goes, if she was just feeding them and it would seem more suspect if she's educating them, which benefits the kids and does not improve the blood for adding for her. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway. Alright, well I'm gonna go because I'm seeing that a lot of people are saying that there's some buffering. I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments below, and if you have any other ideas that you kind of want to discuss and have me pick my brain over 4 or 5 weeks going, and seeing all the different things. I'd love to know what you guys think, and also don't forget, don't give yourself the royal prawn. Okay, so I'm just going to cut that, but I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was the first of my rambles, some of that might end up being just a Twitter thing that I saw and I just wanted to facepalm. Because I do see a lot of things on Twitter I just want to respond to in a video, but the video itself might only take 3 minutes. So there's not really much of a point in sitting down and doing a script and everything like that. So I might also do that. And that could, if life doesn't get on top of me, happen about once or twice a week. And then hopefully every couple of weeks, or every week or 2 weeks, I will put out a long formatted edited video. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. And again, thank you very much, everyone, for joining in the side chat. And again, don't forget, don't give yourself the raw prawn.